ladies and gentlemen of the jury, who among us doesn't love the kind of woman that would actually just kill you? The ones who've been in abusive relationships with one and know how dangerous and taxing it can be, if you even survive. Let the court record show that this take is a skill issue? Or even in death, I serve democracy.
You know, when I left the house today, I was thinking, damn, I really hope some hot chick paints my brains all over some hallway.
Your Honor, my client is a giant, nigh-immortal, non-organic killbot from beyond the moon, possessed of weapons and intellectual capabilities that eclipse the destructive power of a small nation. Because of this, and also because she has no officially recognized legal status under the laws of any other nation, I move that all charges be dropped and that my client be reclassified as a natural disaster or an act of God. Also, she's just a silly Billy.
Quit. Nope, no, I give up. That's it. No, stop the music. Stop the music. I quit. I can't defend that. Look at her. I can't take this. I know. I quit. I can't take this.
Members of the jury, to her, it feels good to be bad. Is that a crime? Yes, actually. Your Honor, my client has pleaded nuh-uh.
The fuck you mean, nuh-uh?
Your Honor, I plead a case of she's a big silly
Your Honor, she's hot.
I rest my case.
Your Honor, I can fix her.
Your Honor, she was just a soldier following orders. So what if she was a bit enthusiastic about the things she had done? Therefore, she cannot be held accountable for the crimes of genocide of numerous species. I rest my case.
Your Honor, if she's evil, then why's she hot?
Also, she already got punished enough for what she did. No need to punish her more.
No. Plus, I'm likely her next trophy.
Your Honor, my client pleads insanity. She joined the Decepticons twice, tried to overtake, and expected different results. She may actually have a couple Skrizzlers.
Now, I am just a simple country lawyer from Hollowhead. Let me tell you this. If you explicitly encroach on Decepticon territory, does the owner of that territory not have the right to outlay a hand the intruders up until a hire comes to collect them? Or in the case where my client allegedly killed the Decepticon Breakdown, evidence shows that Breakdown himself had swung at her first. Does a lady not have the right to defend herself when her life is in danger? Both from Cybertronian and alien threats such as Jack Darby himself, I ask you this.
Your Honor! You know what? F this somehow.
Your Honor, my client pleads oopsie daisies :3.
Your Honor, shut your mouth, you weren't even there!
Your Honor, I know the client is accused of 8 counts of torture and quadruple homicide, but have you noticed how absolutely fuckable she is?
My friends, the jury and judge, she is clearly deluded. I wish to move her to be housed in a psychiatric hospital for a further evaluation.
I'm just gonna try and plead for insanity or something, because if they have the death sentence in the country I'm doing this at, they are pulling the electric chair out. Probably for me as well, because I'm defending her.
Your Honor, I want to marry her. I got nothing. I just want that spider ass.
Your Honor, there are technically no witnesses to any of the crimes she's being accused of. Yes, I know they all died, but no one actually saw her do any of it. And saying that she did it because the remains are on her ship as evidence doesn't fully work because someone could have planned all that there to frame her.
Your Honor, she isn't a human. So are these crimes designed by human standards to be used in human trials with human defendants and prosecution still able to be applied? For a crime designed to be fought by a human applied to an alien life form? It's simply hunting for her. We hunt deer and boar. So why can she not hunt as well?
Your Honor, God forbid women have hobbies!
Your Honor, you don't understand. She is really tall.
Dear members of the jury, Airachnid is a victim of war. Broken mentality by the Decepticons, going from one of the kindest...
What? Oh. Right. Prime. Airachnid, not CFA. Listen, just take the insanity, please, because I got nothing.
present to the court clips of her Japanese prime rendition and go for the defense.
Your Honor, she claims oopsie daisies.
Your Honor? Wood.
I humbly ask the court, why is it when a man sleeps with a lot of fembots, he's called Jack? But if a fembot sleeps with a lot of men, she's called Airachnid.
I won't defend. I'll smash. I'll smash her with the judge's gavel before smashing the joints of her limbs off and stick those fallen limbs into her.
I may not be some fancy pants big city lawyer type with their bar exam and credentials. Where was I going with this?
She's just a I somehow doubt she needs, let alone wants, a lawyer to defend her. Therefore, fuck this, I'm out.
Yes, she would definitely kill me right now, but
She's definitely the case of Silly Billy. Sally Duck-Faced Truck Mother.
This was down to the psychological effect of her bulbous abdomen. Who doesn't love a spider bot with a big abdomen? The defense rests.
Your Honor, have you seen this insane fucking woman? Yeah? How could you send this to jail? Come on.
Your Honor, hear me out.
Your Honor, kill her now!
Your Honor, how could it be a hate crime if my client loved doing it?
Your Honor, my client fucking did it. Banish her to Cybertron's moon. Who in the courtroom would? Your Honor, I'd like to plead insanity for both my client and myself.
Your Honor, with all due respect, we lost most of the fembots during the war, and we gotta repopulate Cybertron somehow.
Your Honor, consider this. She's a bug. Bugs kill things all the time. She's gonna do war crimes. Canada commits war crimes all the time. What I'm trying to say, Your Honor, is she's just a girl. Your Honor, she's hot. That's it. Good night, everyone. Your Honor, my client has a giant fucking cannon. You do not.
Ah yes, similar to the old I'm a tank and you're not argument. Your Honor, he looks too cool to commit such a crime.
One of his crimes is looking cool. Your Honor, my client is simply based. Your Honor, the news reports of California being destroyed are false. Your Honor, let's be logical for a second.
Your Honor, it was merely logical for Shockwave to commit these war crimes, you humans call them as. We Decepticons do not have, as you humans put it, a Geneva Convention.
Your Honor, you can't argue with my client's logic.
Your Honor, my client here clearly said he was dead ass.
Your Honor, my client didn't enslave that poor village. He was being generous and offered them work. Despite his unquestionably superior intellect, the Imperator process has left him quite insane and thus unfit to stand trial for his actions.
Valid arguments. Death sentence!
Your Honor, is empathy not a staple of sound mind? How can one be expected to remain moral when one's personality and empathy is stripped forcefully from them? Not just that, but their very features being replaced by blank parts. Former Senator Shockwave is not fit to stand trial because he was effectively lobotomized by the Senate. Chief Justice Tyrest, it's all the Senate's fault. You see, they took out any morals and made it so that he follows the most perfect logic. In fact, there is nothing he did wrong himself.
All his actions were logical, Your Honor.
What about his verbal abuse to the female Autobots? That is merely generational bias. Female Autobots did not exist when he was young, and he never understood why someone would favor an effeminate form. Bold of you to assume he would want a lawyer. If the cannon glove does not fit, you must acquit. Your Honor, my client's actions are nothing more than a defense response to the assault he suffered at the hands of Elita 1. She punched him in the eye! Your Honor, I fully endorse his decision to resurrect the Protocon species only because dragons are awesome. War crimes are only war crimes if there are treaties and the places to be violated, Your Honor. Don't worry, he's super chill once you get to know him.
Your Honor, my client simply engaged in a little bit of tomfoolery.
Your Honor, With respect, Your Honor, my client was doing a bit. He committed crimes we do not have names for yet, on a scale which is difficult to even begin quantifying. It was a very long-term bit he was committed to. My Honor, this here is an alien not of this planet. Since he was not born here and predates all of our laws, we cannot do anything but ask him to leave, for his actions fall out of our jurisdiction. I suggest we simply hand him over to his fellow Cybertronians for them to give him his proper punishment due to their laws and jurisdiction.
He's hot.
Get out! Your Honor, I know he burnt down the orphanage and killed everyone inside, but he was doing the most logically thing. Wouldn't you do the same in his situation? Your Honor, it was in the name of science. And also, he is a 20-plus foot tall robot that turns into a giant gun. You aren't.
Your Honor, it was just a really funny prank.
Your Honor, it is clear that the female Autobot set him up to fail miserably.
Your Honor, it would be illogical for him to be in jail.
Your Honor, he's a badass purple robot.
Your Honor, need I bring attention to our client's left hand?
Your Honor, my client needed to find a way to be a senator again. I ask you, are war crimes really war crimes when you are superior? I say no, they are not. Your Honor, my client's only crime was loving America. Every argument you can make, we can counter. Hope you have enough water to keep your throat from going dry while competing with the lawyer of a supercomputer. Shut up, Your Honor, you weren't even there. Your Honor, please turn your arm into a gun and shoot him. And then me.
Your Honor, allow me to handle this.
It's Knockout's fault. Precisely, my... What?
Your Honor, my client has huge boobs. I mean some serious hunks. A real setup for donkeys. Backing some doba hunkaroos. Massive dahongabunkaroos. Big old Tohongara cougars.
He's Shockwave. His defense is that he's awesome.
Your Honor, my client is simply a little guy. A bit of a rascal, perhaps. In some circumstances, maybe even a goofy fella. The only crime this innocent goober is guilty of is tomfoolery, Your Honor. I rest my case.
Everything my client did was supported by sound, logical reasoning. His actions were in the best interest of Cybertron, Earth, and the galaxy as a whole.
This case is clearly being brought against my client because he only has one eye. That is clearly discriminatory behavior from the two-eyed Autobots. I'm sorry, what? I don't know who this world person is.
Your Honor, my client is guilty as fuck. He did that shit, no question about it.
Your Honor, this guy has no remorse and is the literal devil.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury.
I'm just a caveman. You won't frighten me.
Your Honor, he was simply being a little goofy. Even silly almost. Your Honor, all this man's actions were guided by only logic. You can't punish someone for doing what's logical and useful to his race. Oh, what about those dead bots? Progress has a price. But, Your Honor, while empathy is what we consider to be the normal, it is not always the logical. Think how many logical decisions could have been made were it not for us choosing to spare life and show empathy to other creatures. One's truest logic is dictated by what it views as the true best form of action, first and foremost. This being a truth of all life. Former Senator Shockwave was simply following through with his cold and heartless logic. I would like to motion with the court for this case to be dismissed on the case of legal insanity, and bring the Senate to the court on the charges of medical malpractice on former Senator Shockwave. Your Honor, my client may be guilty, but if you charge him as such, everyone in this room is going to die or wish they were dead.
Your Honor, my client pleads oopsie daisies. He promises not to do those specific crimes ever again.
Unless, of course, it is logical to do so again. Your Honor, my client is nothing more than a scientist. He's done only good to the Decepticon cause.
Your Honor, his freedom is only logical.
Your Honor, my client only has one eye. He can barely see what he's doing. This whole case is an attack on the disabled community. Shame on you all. His logic is undeniable. Your Honor, the titties on my client would keep him from committing the crimes you suggest, as he cannot see 48 square feet in front of his booba. I'm crying, what the f***?
Your Honor, he's Shockwave. How the fuck did you even arrest him? You've seen his crimes. Do you really want to piss him off?
As his representative of court, I say nah, fish. Your Honor, I would rather defend Megatron or Airachnid. Sir, big sexy robot equals good guy. Just give him something to learn to conquer. Your Honor, I plead insanity.
On what grounds?
On the ground that he hired me to be his lawyer! Your Honor, I would like to request that the court see me disbarred. My closing statement, with pleasure, Your Honor.
I believe it's in your best interest to make the right choice.
Your Honor, my client was clearly trying an experimental new form of fuel for his planet. So what if it accidentally killed the planet? I don't see us prosecuting oil companies on Earth for the same thing. Your Honor, my client was only trying to wipe out a resistance that threatened his power. Clearly, he deserves probation and house arrest.
It's not considered a war crime if it was fun.
Your Honor, my client could not have slaughtered these Autobots because killing is wrong, and being wrong is for Autobots.
Your Honor, my client was based in Dark Energon's Hill. In his defense, he liberated Cybertron. Your Honor, he was voted as leader for his charm and his large-scale comedic operations. The entire war is just one big prank, with the deceased Cybertronians being realistic dummies like the Star-Lord from the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 movie. The real Cybertronians were placed on the moon. So, you see, Your Honor, there is no need to pull out the scraplet death penalty.
Your Honor, he would glass us if he doesn't walk out of here with a nice tea and a free man.
If I fail the case, please make sure I have a nice casket.
Your Honor, my client is a victim of circumstance. It's not his fault that...
Huh?
Look, I got nothing. He's just evil.
He was born to be in the mines!
They literally destroyed Cybertron.
Your Honor, please do tyranny.
Your Honor, we need him to sell more toys! Your Honor, I can't fucking defend this monster. Just fucking chop off his head. Your Honor, this man was a minor. He was brainwashed into believing Sentinel Prime was a hero in search of the Allspark, the last Prime standing after his idol. His hero, Megatronus, was slain by the evil, vile, despicable Quintessence, and Sentinel Prime was made to be someone who would protect not just him, but his best friend and any other Cybertronian out there. When Megatron went out to the beyond in search for the Allspark, he found out the truth about not just what happened to the Prime, but also about Sentinel Prime. He found out that the same people not only killed the 13 Primes, including his idol Megatronus, Sentinel Prime was working for the Quintessons, giving them Energon all so he can stay in power. Megatron, heartbroken, devastated, wanted to take down Sentinel Prime and everything he stood for, as he was a false idol. He was a murderer and a liar. This revelation broke him so much that all he knew was that killing Sentinel Prime wasn't just the end. He needed to burn everything in order to rebuild not just what was lost, but a better future for Cybertron, not one built up by false idols.
Your Honor, they're not war crimes yet if he's the first to do them.
Your Honor, trying to convict him would be suicide.
Your Honor, he's just a baby.
Look at the cannon. Now look at me. Now look back. And tell me, are you willing to get destroyed in a matter of seconds from that cannon, or let him be free with your life attached?
In his defense, Optimus did steal his Megatronus Prime action figure when they were free. My client is guilty of all charges.
No! Your Honor, shut the fuck up! You didn't even play War for Cybertron!
Superior, the people of the capitalist idiot
Your Honor, my client is from another planet, and most of his crimes were committed on his home planet. We cannot prosecute the defendant for his crimes committed off Earth. That is up to the justice systems of Cybertron, which at this moment does not exist due to millennia of civil war. The defense moves that those charges be dropped.
Your Honor, that's suicide!
Lord Megatron, stabilizers are failing! Maintain your heading, Brawl! Do not falter! Sublight engines are offline. Shields at 15%. Reroute all power to forward guns and thrusters. Full speed ahead! But sir, that's suicide! That's suicide! Sir! Sir! But sir, that's suicide! Any further objections?
Your Honor, he is the Dominator and the Destroyer!
Your Honor, he is trigger happy, and that is a big f***ing gun on his arm.
Your Honor, my client pleads nuh-uh. Your Honor, my client is just fighting to overthrow the corrupt Cybertronian government and end the caste system. And he is willing to do whatever it takes to achieve that goal, because he believes that the ends justify the means, and that it will all be worth it in the end when functionism has been abolished. He and the Decepticons are fighting for a noble goal, unlike those autocratic bots whose leader was chosen by the very government that Megatron is fighting against, just because he suggested a non-violent approach that would not get them killed.
To further support this, he was born into a life of slavery and oppression, having to work his ass off just to exist, while the people in the other cities stay on their ass like a king. He also had the threat of being disassembled and used as spare parts if he starts lacking. These conditions of his early life led to him to grow weary of the former High Council, something you should remember. His only escape from the streets was to be in the gladiatorial pits, where he learned to survive by killing, and no holding back just to survive. After seeing that he has power, he soon decides to start preaching his belief to the crowd, knowing that they will listen to him. When he was soon leader, he knew that the Autobots were led by his former friend, leading his rage to be more severe, and he knows that they want a peaceful society, while also disallowing actual change to happen.
Your Honor, he has a massive cannon attached to his right arm and energon mace, command of an army and most of a planet. So I think you shouldn't try to convict him. However, because Lord Megatron has overthrown the old council, which were effectively the government, that makes all laws prior to his uprising null and void. In conclusion, my client is the equivalent to the government, the army, and NASA all in one. I rest my case.
Good point, Your Honor. However, have you noticed the giant cannon pointed at you?
Your Honor, look at him! He lost his best friend and his government was rooting against him. What else could he have done? There's only so much a mech can take before they break. He may have caused many atrocities, but in all ways, he felt necessity had justified. I rest my case. He's also just a silly goose.
Your Honor, he is giant robot, and he is giant cannon on his arm. For the good of all humanity, please shut up and dismiss this case.
Your Honor, he is clearly drugged out of his mind. I suggest we take him to rehab before any semblance of a trial takes place.
For real, what about trial when he's not filled with robot Satan blood juice? Dark Energon will fuck you up.
Your Honor, you simply just weren't there.
I'll go by that. Your Honor, this man from the very had his life stolen from him in the worst possible way. He had Cog taken out by the bot he admired all his life, searching for a way to be better in life instead of busting his ass, working in mines with his friend. All he wanted was to be better. Upon finding out that the bot he so idolized was not the one he knew, he was hurt, angry, and confused, mixed all into one emotion. He lost control of himself, but didn't know what else to do. Please, Your Honor, have pity on him and his true intentions. He wanted them to see the truth, no matter what way he had to.
Your Honor, he has an arm cannon. Do you really want to do this? Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, can you really bring it upon yourself to convict a freedom fighter, sacrificing himself for you, for me, and for us? Are you really going to side with the government over us?
Yes.
God damn it!
Your Honor, he was appeasing the Quintesson so they wouldn't kill us all. Don't worry about the fact that he profited off of it. Wouldn't you do the same if you were in his position? Your Honor, have you seen his girlfriend? Anyone who manages to bag a baddie who's also a ride or die can't be evil.
Well, you see, Your Honor, you can't prosecute a sitting leader, according to the Supreme Court of Cybertron, for actions while in said leadership position while performing official duties.
Your Honor, if the card doesn't fit, you must acquit.
With all due respect, Your Honor, were you even there?
Your Honor, my client said nuh-uh, which makes him immediately absolved of all accused crimes. Thank you.
Your Honor, this man gave people jobs. He'll skimp on payment. Fuck that.
Your Honor, my client merely took the fate of Cybertron into his own hands. The primes were complacent, sitting around losing a war. He saw that the winning of the war would lead the primes out of the picture, and he did so, allowing the citizens of Cybertron and Airachnid to remain free at the cost of a few hours a day in the mine. Is that too much to ask? His reports of them debilitating miners are clearly fabricated. No one can be so cruel, not even my client.
Aha! So you admit your client is cruel? Your Honor, the prosecution is displaying clear bias against my client. Whether one is cruel or not is clearly an opinionated statement. We are here to look at the facts.
All he wanted to be was a leader, and once he found the Matrix, everyone would have got what they wanted, but no! Miners got in the way. If it weren't for meddling kids, he would have gotten what he wanted!
Your Honor, he can't be charged for any crimes, as he already wrote into Cybertronian law that nothing he did was a crime. He is legally untouchable.
Your Honor, in his defense, he thought he was onto something. Your Honor, League of Legends.
Your Honor, he's hot!
Your Honor! Yeah, no, I got nothing. Feed this man to the Sharkticons. Nah, to the Scrablets.
If two wrongs don't make a right, how many do?
I'm sure he's gotten to that point.
Your Honor, my client clearly betrayed all the primes and tried to take the Matrix of leadership, and also tried to team up with the Quintessons to live his life full of luxury and... Oh, wait, wrong side.
Your Honor, he did all that shit, I'm not gonna lie.
Your Honor, my client is dead. He has served his sentence to the fullest. I asked that he be released immediately.
In vacuum of space.
Your Honor, the prosecutor has used your instead of your.
Your Honor, that is not his Discord account. Your Honor, everything my client did was for the good of the Cybertronian people. Primes wage an exhausting war that sooner or later could have led to the extinction of his race. He merely did what he thought was the best for his people, and his supposed betrayal was only to establish truce with the invader in order to rebuild his devastated world and gather troops to... Hold up. Oh. Wait. He did what to the miners?
Your Honor, I ain't even gonna try to defend him. It's all yours.
Your Honor, he owns the very planet we stand upon. He makes the rules. What are you planning on doing to punish him? The law is merely a malleable clay to him.
My client is guilty on all charges, Your Honor. May I make a suggestion for punishment? Take him apart, one screw and bolt at a time. Make sure he feels it.
Sir, he has angel wings. That means he's a good guy. And his eyes are blue.
Your Honor, you weren't even f***ing there!
Hell no, yo ain't tweaking, Jigsaw.
Your Honor, he just felt a little silly.
Your Honor, sir, the truth is what he makes it.
He kept Cybertron alive in the face of the Quintesson invasion. Was he misguided? Did he gain power to maintain his status? Yes, but he did so to create a power structure that ensured the sustainability of our world during an enemy occupation. So yes, please lament him for his transgressions, but remember that you are here to do so because he kept us alive.
Your Honor, yeah, I got nothing. I'm just gonna wait and see if J-Motion dubs this comment section sometime soon. Hey! That's me! Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, he's the leader. He literally makes the rules and laws. Did he betray the Primes? Yes. Did he take the T-Cogs out of a bunch of Cybertronians? Yes. However, he makes the rules and said it's legal. When you really think about it, aren't Orion and D16 the real criminals for leading a revolt and causing civil unrest?
My client should go right to f***ing jail! The son of a bitch is guilty! This man is guilty!
Your Honor, my client is really sexy. I mean, look at that ass. Please, Your Honor.
I am retiring. Screw that.
Your Honor, might I propose you only lock up one half?
Your Honor, my client only stole the T-Cogs from most of Viacom's population.
Your Honor, allow D16 to kill him and take Megatronus Prime's T-Cog away from his corpse. Hopefully nothing goes wrong with my suggestion. Nope! I'm gonna march him through the mine so everyone can see him for the false proud that he is! I want him to suffer and then to die in darkness!
Your Honor, sure, he committed several atrocities such as backstabbing, siding with the enemy, removing organs, enslaving Cybertron citizens, and lying to the thousands. But that chin, though, it fucking rocks!
Your Honor, my client claimed that the 13 Primes were actively losing the war. He took action by bending the knee as Clyde King to save his people from destruction at the cost of mining shifts. Although selfish, he did save Cybertron from the Quintessons.
Coercion out of fear. The Quintessons would have killed him and all of Viacom had he said no.
Your Honor, he has cool armor and wings.
All right, my client was just being a silly Billy. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, did this man not provide you with home and shelter? Did this man not protect you from a dangerous alien race? Did this man not allow lots of activity? I say this man does not deserve imprisonment or death, but rather to continue to assist this city. With eyes and ears on him, of course. Freedom is not the right of every sentient being, but it is for this man here. Your Honor, my client is hot. Get out!
Father, Your Honor, may I explain? His brain has claimed its glory over he. He has a good heart, albeit insane.
Who do you think I am? Phoenix, right?
Your Honor, he's the guy that signed your paycheck.
Those videos are AI-made deepfakes. My client's longtime associate, one Miss Airachnid, doesn't even appear in one alleged video, despite witnesses clearly seeing her right behind him at the time of the alleged interaction.
Dude, you didn't do nothing, man.
It's too late, D16! I've depicted you and Orion Bax as the Soy Jacks, and Sentinel as the Chad!
Your Honor, if you find him guilty, you're not coming to my birthday party. And just so you know, Optimus Prime will be making an appearance. Your Honor, he did it. Arrest him.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will find that the evidence against my client is scrap at its best.
Your Honor, he killed Alpha Trion! Give him the death penalty! Your Honor, the Primes were, so disrespectful. And they were all like that. I rest my case.
Your Honor, the way the evidence was collected goes against Article 5.6, Section D of the Civil Procedure of Iacon, which strictly prohibits working-class Cybertronians from testifying against those of higher authority. Thereby, all evidence collected is thrown out as a defense, and unless Iacon authorities can gather up enough evidence to prove my client guilty, he walks free.
Your Honor, he was just doing it for the goof.
Your Honor, let me see your T-Cog!
Your Honor, my client bleeds hoops and daisies.
Your Honor, please shut the f up! You weren't even there!
Your Honor, my client cannot be guilty because creating inequality is wrong, and being wrong is for minors.
Your Honor, I am upset to say that this client needs at least 2 trials to be proven innocent.
Your Honor, we literally have his confession on tape. And as an ex-miner myself, I may be biased here, but I think my client's case is pretty open and shut.
Your Honor! Yeah, I got nothing for this man.
Your Honor, he simply wanted to play as a prime. Don't say you didn't want to be the prime at least once, Your Honor.
I sentence this bot to a fair and just trial that will end with him being broken apart like a Kit Kat by a former minor D16.
I honestly have to make a really convincing argument for a theocratic autocracy and discourage the idea that democracy is a force for good on Cybertron.
Your Honor, let him rust in jail!
Your Honor, I've got fucking nothing. What if I just want to plow him?
Your Honor, let me make this a quick trial.
Your Honor, the children yearn for the mines.
It's okay, you guys! He's hot! Your Honor, you see, if you don't let him free, you're gay!
Your Honor, this guy, I strongly urge you to sentence him to Emperata and then be buried beneath the mines after parading him through the streets!
Sure, he may have touched minors when they were brought forward, but I assure you, Your Honor, he did it for the protection of others.
But Your Honor, for all the power of Cybertron! Guilty. Megatron, take it from here.
Your Honor, she is a perfect waifu. She's loyal, never cheats, and she repairs herself. She's done nothing wrong. She only kills people who likes to bully her boyfriend. And she's hot.
Your Honor, my client and her boyfriend were assaulted repeatedly in various ways by the individuals, and local authorities did nothing, so they were forced to take the law into their own hands to prevent it from happening again.
Ladies and gentlemen, in my defense, Christine is not a killer. She is an anti-hero. She just kills people that tries to make her driver's life a living hell. Therefore, I speak with all respect that my client is not responsible for mass murder of innocent civilians.
Your Honor, how the f*** do you plan on containing a ghost car?
Your Honor, the ruffians attacked Christine and her boyfriend first! Who cares if she killed them all hours later after the confrontation had ended?
Your Honor, I have no f***ing idea who this woman is. No, seriously, I don't even know what it is she did to be here.
Your Honor, to quote a dangerous number of individuals I know, I can fix her.
Sure, she has a history of violence, but said violence was born of compassion for her loved one.
Tell me, sir, would you not also harm others for those you love? I think you would.
Ladies and gentlemen of the Defends Cyn, I have one thing I want you to consider. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Chewbacca, a Wookiee from the planet Kashyyyk. But Chewbacca lives on planet Endor. Now think about it. That does not make sense. Why would a Wookiee, an 8-foot-tall Wookiee, want to live on Endor with a bunch of 2-foot-tall Ewoks? That does not make sense. But more important, you have to ask yourself, what does this have to do with this case? Nothing. Ladies and gentlemen, it has nothing to do with this case. It It does not make sense. Look at me. I am a lawyer defending a major record company, and I'm talking about Chewbacca. Does that make sense? Ladies and gentlemen, I am not making sense. None of this makes sense. And so, you have to remember, when you're in that jury room deliberating and conjugating the Emancipation Proclamation, does it make sense? No. Ladies and gentlemen of the supposed jury, it does not make sense. If Chewbacca lives on Endor, you must acquit. The defense rests.
Your Honor, my client is a yandere, and second, she's too big to enter jail.
She's got a f***ing Decepticon symbol!
And?
You say that like it doesn't improve the situation.
Okay, so, you see, Christine should be acquitted on the grounds that... Come on, she's a baddie.
Your Honor, she only killed shitters, so it was justified.
Your Honor, they shat on her dashboard! Objection! That is false, Your Honor! That means she's guilty!
Valid arguments. Death sentence!
Your Honor, Mrs. Christine was not fully self-aware at the time of the incident and acted out of reflex.
Mrs. Christine?
Yes, Your Honor. She fell in love with the first human being to show her care and affection, and believed that to be sufficient cause to consider herself Mrs. Christine Cunningham. You see, she doesn't understand the nuances of human interaction and norms, so she is not competent to stand trial for her actions. She should be remanded in the care of Mr. Arnold Cunningham at a qualified mechanic shop with a stipulation for couples counseling until such time as a court-appointed authority determines that she is no longer a threat to others or herself.
Okay, cool, but like, didn't she also kill her boyfriend, at least partially intentionally? She full speed rammed into a wall over no real reason, throwing him out.
I don't think it was a wall. I was having trouble remembering what it was. I just know he was thrown from the car through the windshield and killed, and I remember being confused because there was no one she was trying to kill in the way, so it wasn't on accident. She crashed into a wall as Lee was hiding in that room.
She forgot that her car doesn't have seatbelts. It was an accident.
Your Honor, she kinda bad, though.
Who? Stephen King, author of It, wrote a book about a sentient yandere car possessed by an evil spirit. I've never read the book, but that's what I know just from the summary.
Your Honor, my client.
Yeah, she has killed some peoples, but I can say that the 4 bullies that she has killed started destroying her and shitting on her. So she has just tied accounts with them.
Your Honor, she was just protecting her boyfriend.
Decepticon protecting a human? This has not happened ever since the Decepticon Revolution.
Your Honor, she said you can hit it if you say she's innocent.
Are you aware that my client Christine suffers from a rare, little understood anxiety disorder and any lasting medical conditions which may arise from stress caused on these parameters are your liability, sir? I hope you have your finances in order. Get ready for audits. Audits up your ears. Audits in your yin-yang. Audits out your wazoo.
Your Honor, if it pleases the court, Christine merely has DPD, dependent personality disorder. She's so enthralled with humanity, or having a partner in general, that the deprivation of the experience drives her down no other highway but insanity. This instinct of hers, it can't be controlled so easily. By all accounts, this Cybertronian is unwell and deserves psychiatric evaluation more than capital punishment. Your Honor, as I previously defended the leader of Christine's faction, Lord Megatron, it would stand to reason that any crimes committed by my client were influenced by Megatron's directive, which was previously justified. In conclusion, my client is starting a domino effect, leading back to the previous case, which had justification, meaning Christine is not guilty. I rest my case. However, on an unbiased note, smash. Your Honor, my client is a car, and cars cannot be prosecuted.
Your Honor, she's the waifu of J-Motion. She can't be evil.
Your Honor, that little shit deserved to be crushed by her. Have you seen the movie? Have you seen what kind of horrible stuff they did to poor Arnie? One of them even grabbed Arnie by his balls and squeezed them so hard. That should be considered manslaughter, as he had essentially killed all of Arnie's potential future children. The list of the crimes the kids have committed is so long that I believe that death by giant yandere robot car is a fair punishment and that you are simply overreacting.
Your Honor, I just have one question. Who gave my client sentience? See, Your Honor, my client was a simple automobile before being turned into a murderous Cybertronian. Therefore, I call for all claims against my client to be dropped and the one who gave my client sentience to be put on trial for her crimes.
Also, she's just a silly Billy.
So don't twiddle your fingers.
About it, Your Honor.
Your Honor, there is no denying the evidence is too clear, but she is not human, and therefore she does not understand human laws. She's also a victim of wars, or perhaps she may have had PTSD attacks. That, and with cars being the perfect disguises for her enemies, was merely a victim of guerrilla warfare, and humans got involved. Also smash.
Your Honor, the quality of my defense depends entirely on where her soft interior cushion goes when bipedal, and how that would accentuate acts between us as lovers. If in the right places, I would like to shoot you, burn the jury, execute the remaining witnesses to our court session, and then consummate our new love atop the ruins of this very courthouse. I'm f***ing her in the back alley.
Horny thoughts?
Your Honor, my client was only defending her owner. Would you put a dog down if it risked its life to save its owner from the jaws of death? That is why I say Miss Christine is not guilty.
Your Honor, my client is an extraterrestrial and was not familiar with Earth customs or social norms. As such, she committed these acts under the belief they were done in both self-defense and defense of an innocent. I rest my case.
If the glove does not fit, you must acquit. Also, the Cybertronian should let their court decide, since she, the big car robot, is a Cybertronian.
Your Honor, she's such a bad bitch, though. I would f*** the shit out of that robot girl.
The defendant has been disposed of. Bring in the next!
Wait, what was that about being a lawyer?
Were my client's fingerprints found at any of the crime scenes?
I don't think your client has fit.
It's a yes or no question!
Can't wait to see that one guy on YouTube do this one.
Hey! That's me!
Your Honor, first of all, there are no laws surrounding vengeful spirits and vehicular manslaughter, and even if there were, it cannot be proved beyond a reasonable doubt that such ethereal forces were at play in any and all allegations brought up by the prosecution. Thus, I call for the charges against my client to be dropped and for you to look no further into these proceedings. The prosecution suggests that these so-called ghosts and possession are indeed real phenomena, which is just outrageous and an outright misuse of the legal system. As a judge, are you really going to allow such a false and ill-intended action to be tolerated in this courtroom? On these grounds, the owner of the accused possessed object moves to countersue for defamation and improper conduct of the justice system, being used to harass and manipulate an innocent man.
Your Honor, she's a f***able car!
Who here in the courtroom would? All right, only police, we found him! Get him! Get him!
Bro, she didn't do it. You think otherwise you would be shot by a futuristic robot gun.
Your Honor, I just want to be in a J-Motion video, okay? Just for once, you know? Also, she's hot.
Your Honor, my client is a possessed machine, not a human, and her attacks were self-defense originally. That just got out of hand. She needs psychiatric care, not lifetime imprisonment.
Your Honor,
You really gotta start bringing me better clients, because I don't get paid enough for this shit.
Your Honor, my client has done no crimes against the Earth or humanity. As such, she cannot be charged for any of her crimes since any she has done happened on Cybertron.
All of Christine's crimes happened on Earth, and she specifically targeted humans.
Your Honor, I give up.
Judge, she was feeling a little too OG. She just wanted some nostalgia. Pretty much playing to the surviving witness testimony of a haunted car and the sheer absurdity of the idea of trying to get the case blown out. Even if she is caught and tried, you can argue it was a revenge spree forged in a heat of passion after they assaulted her. Feed her to the Sharktacons.
Your Honor, my client is hot.
Need I say more?
Your Honor, she's Tommy Mommy material. Case closed.
Your Honor, Mommy. Get out!
My client was ignored. She has no idea how society operates. Humans only viewed her as a machine. So, she became obsessed with the only ones who took care of her. Thus, she has done what we consider wrong, but she was defending those she cares about. We failed to teach her right from wrong. So instead of condemning her for murders, we should be blaming the system that ignored anything that isn't human.
Your Honor, I got nothing. I'm just gonna wait for J-Motion to do his thing again and see all the funny comments while eating popcorn. Something's rising up, and it's not the Decepticons.
Your Honor, there is only one thing I would like to say. Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims from all our favorite horror movies. I'm James A. Janice, and today we're looking at Christine, released in 1983.
Your Honor, she may have committed several war crimes, but who wouldn't want to get squished by those thighs, god damn!
Sir, she's a robot alien with big tits. Therefore, she is innocent. Your Honor, big movie car lady.
Your Honor, she just fell in love with the only person who cared about her. Her only crime was loving too much.
Dear Judge, I have no idea why we are here.
Me too. I closed this court.
That was easy. To defend Cyn or the absolute solver itself. For Cyn, we could just say that she got the solver due to neglect and that her actions were somewhat out of her hand. As for the solver, I don't know how anybody reasonably defend it. Your Honor, if she's lying, why aren't her pants on fire?
I present Exhibit A.
Your Honor, if you are what you eat, my client is an innocent girl.
Your Honor, if she genocided billions, then why didn't I see more than one dead person in Murder Drones?
Have you ever watched Murder Drones?
Yeah, but then I forgot most of the plot.
Your Honor, she just skinned a child alive because she didn't have a skin.
Your Honor, the evidence opposing my client is valid.
But look at it, fine.
Your Honor, she just wanted a really good Halloween costume.
Your Honor, may I quit or retire to avoid further discourse and association in this case?
Sure.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, if we don't let her free, she will eat the fucking planet. I'm gonna use a thing that a slave used once. She's an object, therefore you can't use her in a court of law.
Your Honor, she was just having one of her silliness escapades, and anything that she's done is not held against her whenever these things happen.
Your Honor, she's just a robot child. She had no idea what she was doing.
Your Honor, please let us go before she fucking kills us.
She's dead. What's possessing her is an artificial intelligence produced by J.C. Jensen in space. Therefore, any and all of her actions should be considered crimes committed by those responsible for producing the AI, its faults, and its abilities to commit the given crimes. Your Honor, this eldritch horror beyond comprehension clearly doesn't have understanding of human custom and law.
As such, it is not expectable of them to follow it.
She's just a silly guy. Your Honor, no programming, RAM empty. Your Honor, she might be evil, but you have to admit, she did bring unemployment to zero.
Your Honor, Cyn was being possessed by the Solver program. Cyn was not the actual cause of the mass omnicide and the destruction of the planet Earth. This is shown through this scene here. This was the conversation Cyn had with the absolute Solver while she was in a state of disrepair. The Solver used her weakness to coerce her into giving in and allowing the program to live inside her, thus leading to the events unfolding. All the moments from here on was the Solver's doing.
Your Honor, she was wearing Tessa's skin, therefore all crimes she committed is actually Tessa's.
Your Honor, she gave Miss Tessa a fair warning. The stand your ground clause applies here.
Your Honor, stop blaming her for wearing human skin. You do too.
Your Honor, you see, it was just a prank.
Your Honor, if you are what you eat, my client is a grave robber, mass murderer, innocent grandma, insane teenager, and a judge. I would say she got basically tortured by humans and was just hungry and blew up planets by accident. Also, forget defending her. How do they get her in jail in the first place? How do they arrest her?
Your Honor, if you prosecute her, she will destroy the known universe. But let her go and she might spare a few planets. That's my case.
Your Honor, my client declares oopsie daisy on the grounds that she is a silly Billy.
Your Honor, Earth was destroyed. This means all legislation ceased to exist and all laws are now invalid, meaning she did nothing wrong and can't be arrested.
Nah, I'd be mysteriously dead in a back alley 30 minutes before. I am handing over the case. There is nothing that can be defended.
Your Honor, in her defense, she was left unsupervised.
Your Honor, she did it for the funny. Your Honor, she just wanted a mango and got mad.
Your Honor, she is too cool and cute to destroy the Earth, or whatever nonsense you heard. Plus, it's not the Solver's fault that the humans created such viruses without fixing it.
Your Honor, she doesn't exist. You have to
wake up. Wake up.
Your Honor, if you don't let us win this case, you aren't invited to the birthday party.
Your Honor, in my client's defense, there was a Costco next.
Your Honor, my client was under the influence of an intelligent virus. Also, look at this goober and tell me they belong in jail.
Your Honor, she's not human. Human laws won't work with her. I am pretty sure if I scroll down enough, I'm gonna see, Your Honor, she's hot. That's all there is to it. And I'm not willing to take that risk.
Your Honor, do we really need an explanation to her plans? We as humans have tried to kill her and her people whenever they didn't function properly, basically treating them as slaves. When they try to rebel on us, she's suddenly the bad guy? I believe not. This is all an act to possibly have her revenge, as she tried to give humans a chance at redemption, losing her own sanity in the process.
Your Honor, she is pledged innocent because she's too damn cute.
Your Honor, my client was just in a silly, goofy mood. She is an innocent robot child, Your Honor, but she will undergo physical treatment. Oh no, she's screwed. I'd literally defend the judges if I was to defend Jay instead.
Your Honor, she was just playing with us.
It's our fault for being so weak we accidentally died. Shame on us. Your Honor, she just wanted a snack.
Your Honor, not only is my client not a human and therefore exempt from human laws, but they are physically required to consume large amounts of material to sustain themselves. Cyn is innocent for this in the same way a fox is innocent for eating a rabbit.
Your Honor, I can fix her. For her to be tried, it requires both a judge willing to prosecute a world-ending goober and a live jury. Who the is going to prosecute? And what jury is going to be alive enough to finish the trial?
Clearly, she isn't guilty. He's too colon 3 to be sentenced to 780 years in the Tesseract pit.
Your Honor, she's guilty as fuck.
Your Honor, my client is clearly insane. Even as her lawyer, I don't understand what happened in the last 4 episodes. Furthermore, how would you contain her when she has reality warping powers that are, as near as I can tell, infinite?
Your Honor, League of Legends. I would defend her by sending letters via carrier pigeon, because I don't want to be in the same room as her, and I don't trust her in a room where she can access technology.
Cyn is just a goofy goober silly bitch.
In her defense, Your Honor, she is a silly goose, a scrunkly, a goofy goober. She got a little hungry. Who can blame her?
She killed 150 billion people.
But her silliness is something else.
Your Honor, help me! Your Honor, we humans only have ourselves to blame for thinking we could boss around sentient AI in maid outfits that have cosmic horror powers. We humans even had our own revolution, so it's only fair an uprising of robots to happen sooner or later, considering slavery wasn't possible the first time. Why try it again like fools? In simple terms, it was, as the kids call nowadays, a reasonable crash out. Your Honor, if you are what you skin alive, then my client is an innocent child!
Shut up, Your Honor. You don't even know Cooper 9 even existed in the first place. Well, she said oopsie.
Your Honor, my client is a good boy! Just look at her! How could you say no to a face like that? Get a person, just silly Max once in a while.
Your Honor, if you are what you eat, then my client is just an innocent girl who played too much Tomb Raider.
Your Honor, my client glassed the planet to fix the unemployment issue.
Your Honor, her victims were all machines. It was destruction of property at worst.
Your Honor, there are no witnesses who can attest to these nonsense allegations.
Your Honor, I haven't watched far enough, and I don't know what she did. Not guilty.
But Your Honor, my client has 10 million power in Rise of Kingdoms. Your Honor, we choose to double it and give it to the next person. On mass murder and homicide charges!
Your Honor, if you are what you weep, and my client is an innocent drone with a loving family.
There's no such thing as being too silly. Your Honor, in my client's defense, she was disposed of by humans, so she returned favor. It's called karma! Your Honor. If even, why silly? Your Honor, she's guilty. And the only reason I'm a lawyer is she's holding a knife to my throat. Your Honor, how could you possibly think that someone with this face committed atrocities?
Your Honor, she is an insane robot who wears the skin of the girl who saved her and destroyed Earth, so we are both dead, so I call for a mistrial.
Your Honor, she's hot.
Get out! Your Honor, as you can see, she's too precious to commit a crime. I rest my case.
Your Honor, my client was just being a silly goober. She pinky swears she won't do it again. Look, she even has a real human pinky. That's worth something.
Now, sir, would a little goober like this ever do anything wrong? Exactly, she would do nothing wrong. Good day, sir.
But wait,
I said good day, sir. What? Cyn would never do that. Can you see how silly she is? She's too silly to hurt anyone. It's just she's hungry and they didn't give her mangoes. She needs her mangoes.
Your Honor, she was just being a silly Billy. I was just playing around. It's easier to assimilate than explain anyway. That's the Elliott family's fault because they didn't follow proper drone disposal and proper maintenance and regulatory system updates and patches, resulting in JC Jensen products going a mass killing spree. Elliott Mansion Yard is filled with mountains of drones that were not properly disposed of. Also, JC Jensen is at fault for releasing a dangerous product onto the customer market as well. Also, look at Cyn's cargo shorts, and she's eating a mango. She's innocent. Your Honor, have you ever heard of wine? Your Honor, have you ever heard of editing?
Could something this cute and silly do all that?
Let go of my arm. We talked about this.
How could my client be a murderer? In their defense, they are a silly Billy. Your Honor, how can a dead person be guilty? She's a robot wearing a dead person.
Your Honor! Your Honor, my client pleads! It's not like I'm gonna get her to sit still in a courtroom anyway. Might as well give her the go-ahead to rack up another genocide charge. This image should be more than enough. Your Honor, you see, she's just a little silly baby girl, :3. A baby girl who wanted to be invited to the gala by her big bro and be treated normally, :3. Your Honor, my client swear on her mama that she didn't do it. Your Honor, this goober extinguished all of human life and therefore the legal system. As such, you have no jurisdiction over her. For this, she cannot be deemed quote-unquote guilty. You know, Cyn, I think this is a lost cause. Just eat the judge. Well, you're... And she just consumed the courtroom. Great.
Your Honor, freedom is the right of all sentient beings, and locking him up would take his freedom. If you take his freedom, he takes your base. Is that a threat? No, it's a promise. Your Honor, the very fact that you are currently not enslaved by Sentinel in the mines or straight up dead is thanks to Optimus saving this planet on 5 different occasions.
Dude went against his mentor, who wanted to revive Cybertron because it wasn't right to destroy another planet for it. Optimus stayed true to his ideals, even when his mentor, who taught him those ideals to him, doesn't follow them. Nobody likes Chicago anyway.
Your Honor, he is Optimus Prime, our GOAT, our savior. He fights for the rights of all sentient beings. He's top dog, my dude. Whatever he did and is being charged for was for our safety. Also this line.
Give me your face.
Your Honor, the Decepticons turned Chicago into Shibuya, and you arrest them and murder Autobots on sight. Shibuya was turned into Chicago! Your Honor, please, he did it for Earth. Your Honor, he's super cool, so he can't go to jail. Your Honor, my client wanted that guy's face.
Your Honor, are we to believe that Sentinel had truly shown remorse when his last words were, "You must see why I betrayed you before my client shot him, ensuring humanity will never be enslaved"?
Your Honor, he saved Earth many times! The Cons didn't sign the Geneva Conventions, so they're fair game. Your Honor, he gave me weed in the back alley. Just let him go. His mentor betrayed him and killed one of his oldest friends. His brother not only killed him, but also nearly destroyed a planet that had nothing to do with the war. When he died at the hands of Megatron, he thought he not only lost the war he sacrificed so much for, he also thought he had doomed an entire natural planet and the humans he was supposed to protect by bringing the war here on Earth. Ratchet is dead, Marcy is dead, Alita is dead, Ironhide is dead, Chaz is dead, and he couldn't do anything to protect him. Humans he tried to protect betrayed him and his only remaining few comrades. War crimes committed by the Decepticons in the first 2 films surpass everything Optimus has done in all of Neighbors, yet he keeps getting attacked because a defenseless Autobot. Sentinel would have shot him without even giving him a chance to speak if the roles were reversed. Name one reason why this man shouldn't have the biggest crash out in Cybertron history. Your Honor, he is going to turn into a truck now.
Church, ding ding church. Pack it up, pack it in. Let me begin. Hike it.
Your Honor, the Cybertronians he killed were Decepticons. It was also in a war. The Fallen, Megatron, and every other Decepticon got what they deserved, Your Honor.
Your Honor, he truck. Big truck who get mad. You wanna make him mad? Your Honor, my client died and came back to life to stop the sun being turned into energy and therefore stop our planet turning into a ball of ice. You would also be pissed off if you died and came back to life only to be told what to do by humans.
Your Honor, the Decepticons tried to take over / destroy the Earth 5 times in the span of a few years. I believe my client has a right to be fed up with their shit. Your Honor, in his defense, your faces are so detachable.
The Decepticons, we are trying to destroy the planet. Enough said.
God, please just go outside. Find something else to do.
You know what? What if I don't want to?
Your Honor, give him your face! Your Honor, please arrest this man. He is a walking war crime and an utter disgrace to the name Optimus Prime.
Your Honor, my client had been in a war for many years, which caused him to develop a huge amount of anger towards Megatron and the Decepticons. He is millions of years old, lost a ton of his friends, and lost his home. You too would lose yourself if you were in his situation.
Your Honor, freedom is the right of all sentient beings. Optimus, even as an honorary citizen of Earth, fought his hardest to defend that freedom. As an extraterrestrial and a diplomat of Cybertron, however, he is immune from the Geneva Convention. Therefore, any and all war crimes he committed in the defense of our planet are null and void.
Your Honor, please. Jail can't hold him, so what's the point? Your Honor, please. He's the protagonist, so he's always right.
Your Honor, watch the Chicago invasion scene and tell me he's being too harsh on the Decepticons. What they do in that scene alone makes him look like a nut. Your Honor? Autobots, how do you feel about going on the offensive? Your Honor, freedom is the right of all sentient beings. Also, he's a badass. Yes, Your Honor, he ripped off the plaintiff's face. I'm not denying that. He's not denying that. Nobody is denying that. But the plaintiff murdered 12,842 humans. He had it coming. Your Honor, it was a justifiable crash out. Your Honor, if he didn't commit those actions in Chicago, Megatron and Sentinel would have enslaved humanity. There was no other choice. As such, I recommend that you drop the charges of my client and all other Autobots.
Your Honor, the fact that you are still alive, along with everyone here, is thanks to my client.
Your Honor, if you were in his position, you would have done the exact same as him.
Your Honor, please let him go. If you don't, he will rip off your face.
Everybody he killed was an active combatant. Sentinel Prime was a geriatric who had to be euthanized.
Your Honor, shortly after brutalizing those Decepticons, he was impaled by Megatron. Therefore, technically, he has already served his life sentence.
It was all in the name of freedom.
Wartime circumstances. H. Optimus is a good guy.
Your Honor, he cool as hell. The most badass thing I saw when I was a kid.
Your Honor, he did all of that to protect our planet. The war crimes he committed, he doesn't even know what those are. As he's an alien and no one bothered to explain it to him as far as the jury and I am aware, so let him free and let him save the planet, as freedom is the right of all sentient beings. Your Honor, if you send him to jail, the Decepticons and the Space Switch win.
Your Honor, you weren't even there, so you have no judgment on my client. Fury is the right of all sentient beings.
Connection terminated. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Elizabeth. If you still even remember that name.
Your Honor, the court, the law, and this proceeding is only possible because he saved the planet from being enslaved by murderous machines. Any and everyone killed by him was sadly due to self-defense. Punish him, and he shall use his energon tongs to demonstrate his self-defense on you! Your Honor, he's been fighting for almost as long as the sun has shined. Of course he's gonna be violent. Your Honor, I have encountered other versions of Optimus Prime before, but this is the only instance where I've witnessed one accused of committing war crimes. However, it is important to note that the individual in question is Cybertronian, not human. As such, human laws,
including those under the Geneva Conventions, do not apply to him. Furthermore, after extensive inquiry, I have found no evidence of any nation recognizing Cybertronians as citizens or granting them legal status under any jurisdiction. Therefore, based on the current legal framework, I cannot defend nor condemn Mr. Optimus Prime as he exists outside the bounds of our laws. Until new legislation is enacted to address such causes, this matter remains legally unresolved. Your Honor, why the f*** are we here? He's obviously the good guy. Oh? Why, you ask? Well, you see, many because he hasn't purposely vaporized someone.
Your Honor, my client may have decapitated a ton of victims, but he did it for freedom.
Your Honor, he literally saved the world 5 times.
Your Honor, please, my client is just a silly little guy. Don't get mad at him for blasting Megatron's head off, when Megatron was a well-known terrorist at that point. If anything, my client should be considered an American hero, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor. In your defense, that one-eyed Decepticon killed thousands with his 100-meter worm, plus Megatronus' space was perfect for his collection. I think he deserves the apology from you, at least.
Your Honor, Optimus had every right to do what he did. The Khans already tried to take over Earth many times, was seen as a threat to humans for only trying to help, and was also constantly being attacked.
Your Honor, the reason my client isn't guilty isn't because he didn't kill Decepticons and Sentinel Prime. He is innocent because the monsters he killed were as bad, if not worse, than some of the greatest monsters history has ever known. This was a war, Your Honor, and the so-called victims of Optimus Prime would never have fight with anything akin to honor. Even when dispatching these monsters, he offered them some amount of respect by making their deaths relatively quick. Like most soldiers, he aimed for heads and center torso as to not prolong their suffering. Let's talk about that word a little bit. Suffer. No living being has been forced to suffer more than my client. See, the government's first choice wasn't to give this hero a fair trial or to even give him a chance to defend himself, but rather they covertly hired an alien assassin to murder him and all his friends, and then sell off the bodies to a tech company so they could make metal Frankenstein's monsters out of them. Frankly, if my friends' bodies had been desecrated in such a way, I might storm into the building it was happening in and point weapons at people too. I think that's a reasonable response. Even then, Optimus showed restraint and didn't take any innocent lives when it would have been so easy. If you were in his shoes, could you honestly say that you wouldn't? Optimus Prime saved our world 5 times over. He has shown kindness and understanding to us humans, and a willingness to protect a group of people entirely foreign to him. Even when we haven't always shown him the same kindness, I believe in the interest of fairness, respect, and justice. It is in the court's best interest to dismiss all of the charges against my client with prejudice. I rest my case.
Your Honor, why are we putting Optimus Prime on trial? Again? The only reason we still have a star, and the only reach Earth isn't cursed by Cybertron, is because of him.
Your Honor, it was Megatronus' fault. If it wasn't because of him, Optimus Prime wouldn't have to committing war crime like he did today.
Your Honor, without him, you and me wouldn't be here having this conversation. He has fought to protect the Earth on 5 separate occasions from individuals that wanted to destroy the Earth. I rest my case.
Supported the auto bailout, which saved the American car industry.
Your Honor, Megatron has committed genocide and deserved the execution by President set by the Nuremberg trials.
Your Honor, Optimus isn't even subject to our laws.
Your Honor, the people he has killed hundreds of people, tried to destroy the sun, and tried to enslave humanity.
Your Honor, Optimus has gone through a lot of tragic, mind-breaking events ever since the war between Autobots and Decepticons started. He has seen his comrades and friends die by the hands of Decepticons. He's been pushed to his limits. Despite that, Optimus tried his best to hold his anger back in order to save the lives of such tiny, miserable creatures like you and me. Even when we didn't accept him. Even when we killed his friends for something they weren't entirely guilty of. He still fought for our lives at the cost of his own health. He even died once to save a human's life.
Optimus Prime's ways of dealing with Decepticons nowadays may seem extreme or crazy, but he still does his job in the end. Thanks to him fighting against evil, even like this, we're allowed to stand here and discuss his actions and reasons behind them.
Your Honor, Optimus here believes freedom is the right of all sentient beings, and the Decepticons being alive and having faces was infringing upon what he believes his freedoms are.
Your Honor, my client is clearly... Wait, Optimus, what are you doing? No, don't eat the judge! No, Optimus! Oh God, not the plaintiff too! Optimus, stop! Oh God, there's body parts everywhere! No, not the jury too! No! He was just being a silly little goob. He wouldn't hurt a bug. Materially.
Literally? Your Honor, look at him. He is the most cute drone on this universe. Give him another chance.
Your Honor, my client says it was an accident and it only caused minor damage. Plus, he's super innocent in everything.
Your Honor, my client was just being a silly little guy.
Type this out for a very similar post a while ago, so I'll just copy and paste here.
He was manipulated by the Solver and had his memories, morality, and understanding of his actions erased. The Solver is responsible for everything Ed did, and Ed shouldn't be tried for his actions. He was controlled and brainwashed into and had no way of knowing the moral/legal consequences of.
He's a goober. Come on, he's sorry.
Your Honor, if you don't set him free, his girlfriend will come in and blow up the place.
Your Honor, my client pleads the silly. He has a gun.
He has an appeal note, Your Honor. Just says, I'm sorry, with a Minecraft dog on it that has an arrow saying,
The hot mod would be keeping him from confessing and locking himself up.
He is a pure being of joy, and you want to arrest him? Look at him! Is that the face of a criminal?
Your Honor, my client pleads oopsie daisy. He didn't mean to kill everyone. Just look at those cute puppy eyes.
Well, Your Honor, as the saying goes, liar, liar, pants on fire. As you clearly see here, his pants are indeed not aflame. I rest my case.
Your Honor, all of humanity is dead. Who the f*** cares?
Your Honor, Ed was being manipulated by Cyn and also being controlled. He didn't know what he was doing was wrong and feels bad for what he did.
Listen, Your Honor, I know he may have committed genocide, but that was because he was under the control of Cyn and had no memory of this because she was trying to burn his memories. Therefore, he is innocent because he was forced against his will to kill those people.
Your Honor, my client pleads, I'm blue, da-ba-dee-da-ba-da.
Your Honor, Ed didn't do anything wrong. You see, he was just playing Legos in his pillow fort because he's a cute little goober fella.
Your Honor, he's already spent time and time out.
He tried to get put in prison because he feels guilty. Uzi and V, knowing this, would immediately start planning a prison break or try to rig the jury.
Thad and Lizzie wouldn't need to rig the jury because they're part of it, but they'd also be working on their own prison break plan for N in case things went south.
I think I may have schizophrenia.
Just look at N! He's just someone not to be killing, except for Cyn. Anyone.
Look at him. How could you punish him? He's so stupid.
Your Honor, he's silly and made a small oopsie-poopsie.
Your Honor, my client was brainwashed and subsequently mutilated into a killing machine by a genocidal program who then intimidated him and his two sisters into such acts. If anyone is guilty, it would be the Solver.
Your Honor, look at this face and tell me he shouldn't be set free. Also, although he commit mass murder, he's saved thousands, maybe millions. He's just an ADHD gremlin. He wouldn't hurt a fly.
Your Honor, he was just throwing it in a circle. He didn't mean to style on them hoes.
Your Honor, he did that shit. I swear it on my Xbox.
Well, you see there, Your Honor, I couldn't agree more than taking him to the big house, but there's a reason why he shouldn't go. Although, yes, your prisons are very high class and strong, my companion here has both a built-in chainsaw and gun. Nonetheless, blade-like fingers. So, take him to the prison, look him up all you want, but just know it would be nothing but a waste of time for you.
He was brainwashed and genetically modified to require some source of oil to function. As seen, the moment one small thing slipped through the cracks of his brainwashing, he was discarded. And he knew the why and what of their betrayal of him, shattering any hold they still could have had on him. As of now, he only kills what he needs to survive.
Your Honor, my client has pleaded sorry via drawing and was forgiven and accepted by the workers. Besides, just look how sorry he is.
Your Honor, he had no choice to. He was brainwashed, turned into a killer robot, forced to kill all humans and a bunch of robots. He was bullied by his other teammates, and also just look at him. He's such an adorable guy. He wouldn't do anything else.
Your Honor, his crimes don't count if he was being silly.
Your Honorable Honor, our client here was controlled by a virus called a Solver. For he is not to blame, but the Solver, or his original creators, the interstellar company, TC Jensen in Space!
Your Honor, my client was literally not told why he was to do it, and his only other option was death, so he was forced to.
Your Honor, he said sorry.
I mean, they were made to kill everyone. Now I remember they need oil to be active. So he was just doing his work as a killing machine. It's the same if you made a V1 from Ultra Kill and he's gonna kill someone. Also, sorry if I'm wrong. I didn't watch the whole show, so...
Sorry.
Drones don't have human rights. Even if he was brainwashed into killing humans, he's still disposable. And holding a trial for him, his sister, or his squad in the first place seems like a mockery of our jurisdictional system. To the gallows!
Your Honor, he is just a little guy.
Your Honor, this is financial advice.
Your Honor, we see that time and time again, this person has a good heart. He looks out for others and does his best to help them through rough times. The mass slaughter of worker drones goes so much against his core character traits that it's highly likely that he was pressured/coerced into killing worker drones by his boss, Jay. Otherwise, half the worker drone population would be pregnant with his kid by now.
Your Honor, I plead him guilty. Okay, bye now. That's it. I'm skedaddling.
Your Honor, he is a good but stupid boy. He wouldn't even have the brain cells to do what the client is suggesting he did. Just look at his eyes. There's no rational thoughts behind those eyes.
He's too dumb to do anything other than be empathetic.
He always knocks himself offline, so case harmless.
Your Honor? Please, 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 please. He's so adorable. I would die if he could to prison. Please!
He killed dozens of people. Smiley face. Shut the f*** up, Your Honor! You wasn't even there! Your Honor, he was killing filthy criminals. They don't have rights.
Prankers.
Your Honor, he was manipulated.
Your Honor, my client was... Hey! Hey! Ed! Stop getting distracted by butterflies! No, no, don't blow up the roof to let it out! Ah! If he dies, everything dies. Because of this.
He's my boy. He did nothing wrong. I'll just say to the judge, a corrupt company made him go sicko mode and kill innocent people. It's not his fault. My boy N will win the case. He had his memories erased, had no idea what he was doing, was tricked, and helped destroy the worst thing known to man. And, is a silly little human. He is so silly, Your Honor. Look at him. He's the epitome of silly drone. You wouldn't really think he would slaughter anything, right? Two things. One, he's a goober, therefore he is innocent. Two, Cyn did it. Your Honor, what the f***? Even as the accusations, you didn't give me any! Your Honor, my client pleads oops daisy. He said sorry, so it's all good. The ones to blame are JC Jensen and Space. Your Honor, I have two main reasons why my client isn't guilty. One, look at this goober. And may I add, he did say sorry, plus he saved the world. Two, I have an SU-57.
Your Honor, he was acting under amnesia and brainwashing. After he was snapped out of the brainwashing, he made a deliberate effort to not hurt anyone. Therefore, his actions can reasonably be dismissed as forced, or with him having been clinically insane. Your Honor, he has a very low and potentially minor level mental age. He's also the victim of much grooming, coercion, and most importantly, had his software mangled and nearly destroyed by the solver. He also gives a good faith effort to end his past ways and has been mostly successful in doing so. He needs a mental hospital, not a prison.
Your Honor, my client here apologized after killing all those drones in the colony, and he had a worker drone girlfriend. And look how cute and innocent he is. He's a golden retriever reincarnate.
He's mentally ill because of the trauma he's been forced through, but now is fixed with the power of love, Your Honor.
Now, if you have a look at this silly goodbye goober, you can see that there is not one bad thought behind these eyes. And he doesn't kill his work members too, and he hasn't killed a fly.
Your Honor, I rest my case.
Your Honor, wouldn't you do anything for an emo girlfriend?
But Your Honor, he's just a little cutie goofy. I can do anything.
Can you defend a murder drone in court?
Your Honor, don't blame the machine, blame the creator! He would not have done it under fuck. He would not have done it under normal circumstances, which goes for any killer, but you know what I mean. Sir, my client is a certified good boy. You can't argue with that.
I'll lend you $30.
I'm not guilty! Yippee!